Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Buck Roll. Alright, we're back at the Cameron Park Zoo today. I know I visited that a couple times, but there's a couple specific things I want to check out while we're here today, and we'll talk about that when we get inside. Alright, we are inside the zoo. It's interesting, when I walked in, they gave me a little warning that there may be some drones buzzing around or fireworks going off or stuff like that. And I said, yeah, I know, that's sort of why I'm here. I wanted to check that out. So let's run down here to the first part. Like I said, there's two things I want to kind of check out today. And let's check out the first one, and I'll tell you what's going on. So this has been sort of like a lemur island kind of thing for a while. They've been working on it for a while because usually there's water in here. And like I said, as I was coming through here, I just kind of saw the animals in their cages back there. I guess those aren't really lemurs. I'll have to go do a little bit of research, find out what it is I'm talking about here. But yeah, there's them kind of chilling out in their cage there. Having a good time in there, it looks like. I am still going to show you a few things in the zoo, especially these. It's not very often you get to see the bald eagles that they have here. There's one here, and the other one's kind of hiding behind the tree there. You probably can see maybe through the glare. Like I said, they're usually pretty elusive, so when you get a chance to see them, you got to take advantage of it, right? Alright, so since I'm not having a whole lot of luck right now showing you parts of what I wanted to show you today, let me kind of break the secret here and let you know what's going on here. Last couple times I've visited here, there have been I've noticed the presence of wild black vultures that have been all over the exhibits. They've been hanging out on top of the on top of the enclosures that the animals are in. They're just thousands and thousands of them. They're native to this area, but it started to become a bit of a problem because these animals are, they're kind of big. They're kind of rub their beak all over the enclosures and cause damage. They poop all over the place, and they bring disease, and they bring odors and all that fun stuff that comes with it. And it's been something that the zoo has been trying to figure out how it was going to deal with. And it's finally gotten to the point where they're having to take some serious action to address the issue. Because, like I said, it's starting to cause a disease among the animals and stuff like that. And it's a little bit more complicated than just shooting them or something like that, because these animals are endangered. And so you really can't just do that. You have to find some sort of way to encourage them to leave. And so starting yesterday and running for about 2 weeks, they've gotten approval from the USDA and the Department of Fish and Wildlife to start harassing these animals to try and get them to relocate. And so what they're using is, non-lethal methods like pyrotechnics that you might hear from time to time. I guess they're buzzing them with drones to try and get them to move on. And they also were saying that potentially some of the guests could participate by giving like little clappers or something that they could use to help encourage these creatures to move on. So, like I said, I've seen a bit of it, but I've heard some of the fireworks. I have not seen any of the other stuff going on here. A little playtime here, I guess, huh? Just like a couple cats, right? But like I said, I've heard the fireworks go off multiple times since I've been here. Like, sounds like they're launching bottle rockets and things that go beep, and all that. And I've actually seen it seems to be actually working, because I don't see the vultures hanging out. In fact, the last time I heard fireworks go off, it turned out seconds later I saw about half a dozen vultures flying in the sky. So maybe they're having some success with this. But I'm going to wander around and see if I can find out, actually watch some of this going on and like I said, it all seemed like it was coming from in here, so that's sort of why I went over here. And the truth is, a lot of times the vultures hang up like on the walls here. I guess it's a good place to just relax, and there's a lot of fresh water, and good place to socialize, I guess. But it can't be allowed to go on anymore, so they are having to make some decisions. Like I said, they got some permission from the USDA and Fish and Wildlife to do this. So now this is sort of the area of the other thing I wanted to show you. This is a giraffe enclosure. I don't know if it's the only one, but apparently about a week ago they had a new addition. Now, that was some of the pyrotechnics that they're using on the vultures. And it turns out that they had some really good news about, a week or 10 days ago. One of their giraffes gave birth, and they have a brand new baby giraffe wandering around here. I was hoping I could see it, but maybe because of all the pyrotechniques and stuff that they're doing, they maybe have it hidden away. In fact, I've heard suggestions that maybe it's in here. But this is the basic birth announcement. Apparently it happened, like I said, a week or 10 days ago, where they got a new baby named Dane. And I'm guessing, like I said, it looks like there's windows behind these boards here, and they probably just have it boarded over right now to allow the baby. I was hoping it might be out in the yard, but like I said, I was thinking, maybe with the pyrotechnics that they've been firing off all day, they probably didn't want to scare the baby too much. But this is really happy time at the zoo here when you have a baby giraffe be born, especially after the fact that they had some sadness here about 2 years ago. They had another baby giraffe that was born, and about a week after the giraffe was born, the mother got some sort of a gastrointestinal infection and died. And then like 4 days later, the baby got the same thing and died. And so that was really sad. So, they needed a little bit of happiness here, and a new giraffe is one way to do that. Yeah, this is literally the same giraffe enclosure. I was up in that section over there when we were looking at the giraffes before. That's clearly a giraffe enclosure. You can see the door where they come in and out. So they had some video they posted on online a couple days ago, showing the baby in the night enclosure. I'm guessing in that little area right there. And they said the baby, while mom was trying to sleep, the baby at the zoo museum was running around the enclosure. So looking forward to the point where maybe can see the baby out and about, but I guess maybe it's not going to be today, huh? And directly across from the giraffe enclosure is this little monument. I'm guessing this is a monument to the baby that died. Oh, the pink flamingos. I definitely see these little spinny, sparkly things all over the place. Those are supposed to frighten off the vultures here too, because there's one over there too on top of that building. They're all over the place. So yeah, in fact, I think I can see vultures up in the sky there, kind of circling around like vultures tend to do, trying to figure out what happened to their habitat, why it is that they can't just chill here anymore. Yeah, this is an area where they used to just be thick. They'd be, sitting up on top of the rocks there. They'd be down here, so I don't know, whatever they're doing seems to be working. Yeah, there's a vulture way up there trying to figure out where to go here. Another one over there. Like I said, I've heard about half a dozen times they've launched pyrotechnics at the sky. But unfortunately, I haven't managed to get one on camera yet that I can use at least. Turns out I did get one, get an explosion from pyrotechnics going off when I was over at the giraffe enclosure, but a bunch of screaming kids ruined the shot. So, I don't know. That's one of the things you got to run into when you're at a public place like this, is that you got a bunch of kids that don't understand how to use their indoor voice. All right, I guess that habitat I showed you at the beginning of the video, where they were doing all the reconstruction. I guess it's a Gibbon Habitat. I do think might have been lemurs here before, but maybe they're transforming it into a Gibbon Habitat. But like I said, it was kind of fun seeing them playing in the back, so I'm sure they'll have a blast with this area once it's finally done. See, they'll flood this whole thing here with water. It'll go all the way over to there, and then there'll just be this little island here where they can kind of chill, do their thing, have the run of the trees and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, it was a lemur island at one point, so yeah, they're just expanding it, I guess. Good to know. We'll have to come check that out when it opens. All right, well, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to show you either of the things I came to show you, which was a baby giraffe and vultures. But on a positive note, the vulture situation seems to be being taken care of. The fireworks seem to be working, and that's a good thing. We want these animals to relocate to somewhere else because they are an endangered species, but we needed to get them out of the park. So while I haven't been able to show you any of them on the ground, it does seem like they've made some progress, and maybe in just 2 days they've done something that they haven't been able to do in a couple of years, which is get these guys to kind of move on a little bit. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. I hope this continues to be successful, because unfortunately the last resort, if they can't get these guys to move on, is they're going to have to destroy them, and they don't want to do that. But apparently the USDA has given them the choice to do that if nothing else works. So like I said, I'm glad it seems like the non-lethal method is being effective, and we'll have to see what happens and whether the birds come back after the fireworks are discontinued. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. Guess even parrots like their space. Giant tortoises chilling in the water. It's funny too, one of them must have moved through the water pretty quick because they choked most of the water out of their little pond and onto the walkway here. Yeah, these guys can move real fast when they want to. I've never actually noticed this before. They got this little nature trail, as they call it, back here. This is in Cameron Park, after all, and Cameron Park has a lot of great nature trails, so I guess it's kind of appropriate they got one in the middle of their zoo, huh? I'm guessing it probably comes out in another part of the zoo, so we're just going to walk the whole length of it. You can never fully get rid of the sound of the kids, though. Well, the river's kind of jumped the bed a little bit here. Jump over the river here. Still a little bit of muddy back here because we got some decent amount of rain at my house, and I guess from what I saw it was even more powerful here. Got about a ½ an inch at my house. Definitely pretty back here. I guess this is the end of the trail here. Or maybe just a little chill spot out in the middle here. Fork on the trail goes over there. You know me though, I'll stay on the trail if I can. comes out at the bathroom. Huh? Oh, look at that. Look at that hornet or wasp nest in there. Yeah, somebody's got to clean that out. That one looks like it's dead though. Guess it's not the bathroom. I guess it's the little meeting gathering area here. It's not very often I've seen the orangutans out here. I usually get them kind of in the enclosure during the day. Probably a little bit too warm for them out here. I do notice he's kind of chilling in the shade here. Might be kind of, oh, that scared him. Yeah, that was the them taking shots at the vultures. You saw he jumped in that head though. I was wondering how much that's affecting the animals. Like I said, that's probably the reason why the baby giraffe is put away. Well, at least he got a bag to play with. Look, he's shy. Looks like it's nap time. Looks like our orangutan friend with the blanket is following us here. But the second he sees me, he goes and hides under his bag again. That's pretty funny. Well, these videos don't always work out like you hope they would. I was hoping I'd capture some footage of a baby giraffe and some vultures, but it wasn't to be. Anyway, I did see that we have a cafeteria on property. I think I'm going to probably go get something to eat because it's early in the morning and I wanted to get here early before it got too hot, so I didn't eat breakfast this morning. So I'm going to wrap this one up by getting some breakfast / lunch / whatever, and I'll catch up with you next time. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.